All right, so what we're going to do is find all the missing sides and angle measures. So as we're looking at this triangle ABC, we need to find side AC. Now, side AC is one of the legs of the triangle. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem, and I'm going to say 9 squared plus, we'll say b squared, is equal to the hypotenuse squared, so 10 squared. So we have 81 plus b squared equals 100. And then subtracting 81 from both sides, we have b squared is equal to, so 100 minus 81 is 19. So then taking the square root, we would have b is equal to the positive square root of 19. Now, we know that this is 90 degrees. So we know that angle A is 90 degrees. So we need to find angle C. So if I look at some of the ratios that I know, I could use here and just say, let's see here. We have the opposite and hypotenuse. So I could say the sine of C is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, so 9 over 10. So if I wanted to solve for that, what I could do is do the inverse sine of 910. And in doing that, got to make sure you are in degrees, but that gives me 64.15. Let me make sure my mode is correct. Yep, I'm in degrees. And then over here, I'm going to find this, which I could do 90 minus 64.15. Let me use trigonometry. So here I can use the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So I'm going to use the cosine. So the cosine of B is equal to 9 over 10. So if I want to find B, I do the inverse cosine of 9 over 10. And that gives me 25.84. And notice if you add 25.84 plus 64.15, that gives you about 90 degrees, which the triangles have to add up to 180. So in looking here, I need to find, I'll do another example. We will skip this one. But we need to find this leg of the triangle. So up here, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem, and I'm going to go 4 squared plus the other leg, b squared, is equal to the hypotenuse squared, so 7 squared. So 4 squared, we have 16, plus b squared is equal to 7 squared is 49. So I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides, and you would get b squared is equal to, so then 49 minus 16 gives us 33. So then taking the square root of both sides, so b would equal the square root of 33. So now to find the angle measures, here is D. So I'm going to use over here the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse, if we do so, that's opposite over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse, I'm going to use the cosine of D. and then that equals 4 over 7. So if I want to find what d is, I can do the inverse cosine of 4 over 7. And that gives me 55.15. And then on here, we have to find E. So E, we could say we have the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the sine of E is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, so 4 over 7. So now to find the E, we do the inverse sine of 4 over 7. And that gives me 34.85.